Yo, so 3.0 Ash's Visage Trickster support. How does it work? So Ash's Visage has the Shabs effect where chaos damage can't bypass an energy shield, but you have to stay above 35% life and 35% mana to not lose the effect of the shield. So how I achieve this is I use a Victario's and a Heretics for the insane amount of reduced mana reservation on those two items. So in my chest setup, I have Blood Magic and two 50% auras. You can use whatever will give your carry the most DPS. I've gone with Anger and Haste, socketed with a level 3 Enlighten. So for my helm setup, I have two curses, Flammability and Projectile Weakness, linked with Empower 3. 4 would obviously be better, and again a Enlighten 3. You can also use Temporal Chains if you are perhaps new to support or you want to try this build out with a more generic carry. Temporal Chains will keep you a lot safer as well. This my setup is a little bit more focused on just maximizing DPS for my carry. So those are how we sustain our reservations to be just above 35%. So our other uniques are Brightbeak for resists and shield charge speed. So obviously generic link, shield charge, faster attacks, fortify. We have a cast when damage taken set up, very generic. And to finish off our mana reservation, we have a discipline linked with a level 3 Enlighten. You can use a level 2 Enlighten to be more budget. I've just gone for level 3 to be more safer. I have two Val skills. I'm using Val Grace and Val Haste, both linked with increased duration and efficacy for the increased skill effect duration. So the little bit memey spice in this build is the Vigilant Strike with the Threshold Jewel, which gives my whole party fortify for 30 to 35 seconds, depending on skill effect on your tree, which is huge, especially if your carry is someone who's unable to put fortify on themselves. Perhaps they're a bow character, so it does give them an extra layer of defense, which is incredibly nice. So finishing off items, it's quite a unique heavy build, finishing off the uniques with a stun immunity. I've gone with the ring. You can go with the neck if you want to. I just prefer the ring. So rares have to be very resist based or stuff that is going to finish off your stat requirements. So obviously resist and dex here. Going with a crystal belt again because I'm very resist starved, using a lot of uniques. Baited breath is also another option if you would prefer to use that. Boots, I've gone with just pure res, as greedy as possible. Not using move speed either. Jewelry again, just res. Yes, res yes. You can also proc EE if you get a element on attacks on your jewelry, so fire, ice, or lightning. So if you go elemental equilibrium and get one of those, you can proc EE with it. It's just makes it very automated gameplay. Yeah, it's pretty standard. You want to get the craft on the neck for the percent ES, which is absolutely huge. That pretty much does all the items. I think I haven't missed anything. So flasks are pretty standard. The only wonky one you could say is probably quartz. I do prefer to phase through enemies and just zip through them very quickly with my carry behind me. Two resist flask of your choice. I went with topaz and sapphire, sorry, because I'm mainly farming breaches. So Ash makes Ash a lot more less rippy, and Toll just to maximize chaos res. You can also use a chaos res flask or another flask of your choice. Also, I went with Quicksilvers. Some people have said, could you drop it for another utility flask? You could. I just went extremely greedy with resist on boots, so I don't have move speed on boots, so it kind of makes that up. So that's that covered. Let's cover Trickster first, and then we'll do the skill tree, because this is kind of the important part of the build. So why Trickster? Get this question all the fucking time. Like, are you retard? You're playing support with Trickster. How many brain cells do you have? How many extra chromosomes do you have? You're playing a support Trickster. It's a support Trickster. What are you doing? So the only two ways to make this build work, so you keep the shield effect without losing mana, is you either use Elrond crafted jewelry with multi-mods, which is a lot of bank, which I didn't want to spend. I wanted to go a little bit more budget friendly. And the only other option that is going Trickster for the no movement no mana costing movement skill, so Walk of the Aether just makes my shield charge cost no mana. Also, Trickster gives an insane amount of flat ES in the 3.0 ES is dead meta, by the way. Also gives 500 flat evasion, which is huge, nothing to scoff at. Also, all of the mini nodes are like attack speed and ES, so it just makes you catch up with your carry a lot quicker and just gives you flat ES, which is huge. Ghost Dance as well is also really nice. The last Uber Lab point is not really massive, just took with the Arcane. You can pick either. So that covers Shadow. Also, I forgot to mention, if you are going to go down the route where you invest into a multi-modded Elrond piece, you should then go Scion, Guardian, and Occultist if you want survivability, or Guardian and Necro if you want to give your carry the most amount of damage possible. That route is a lot more efficient. It's a lot more damage for your carry as well. I just went with the more budget option and with Trickster. So okay, with the skill tree, let's start on the Templar side with the energy from within over here. With devotion, stat requirements, and percent cost effectiveness, which is huge. It's really nice over here, really efficient stuff. Other than that, you're just getting reduced mana reservation and curse effectiveness where you can. I've got Zealot's Oath to cover life regen and Vigilant Strike, which we went over. Other than that, it's just very generic. Powerful ES nodes and +1 curse, self-explanatory. ES nodes over at Witch. Essence Surge, I've had some debates with people if it's worth it or not. I like it personally. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. I just prefer my ES to just shoot up a lot. Hexmaster, again, it's another debatable 3 points for only 10% curse effectiveness. You could fill out more ES if you want to be more safer. I prefer to just give my carry more damage, so I went with the curse effectiveness. Second energy from within is the Melding Cluster. It's absolutely huge. Arcane Vision, depending on what maps you run. I was running a lot of Abyss on this character last time, so I want the light radius, obviously. More curse effectiveness. Conqueror's Efficiency is also mandatory for the reduced mana reservation. I will be linking my path of building in the description, so you can mess around with the life and mana reservations too if you want to float around 35% just above, just to make sure you can switch stuff around if you want and have a look at that. Other than that, it's just more ES nodes, more reduced mana reservations, pretty basic stuff. The only thing that you can do specifically to you is the last dual slot, which is an open dual slot. It's just a filler. You just want to get % ES and then whatever you need. So if you need a little bit more res, you put res on it. I needed strength personally, so I put strength on it, but it's just a filler dual. You just put ES on it and just whatever the fuck you need. I think that pretty much covers the tree. I'm trying to do this pretty quickly and efficiently. We've went over the things. Yeah, how I would rate it against other supports, I would say it's probably not as good as Necro, because Necro is just still pretty absurd, but it's a lot more budget friendly. This is a little bit of a wonky meme build, so you know, kind of did a little bit of goofs, a little bit of gaffs, but I did end up reaching level 95 in the hardcore, by the way, Harboring League, so it's pretty viable. It's okay. It's probably a bit too memey, but it's definitely solid. There's just better options out there, unfortunately, with the state of support right now. But it was a lot of fun theory crafting this build and getting it off the ground with a unique item you probably won't ever see the light of day again. So in that respect, I'm kind of happy with how the build turned out. My carry's not online, so I can't show you how a map would play together, but I'll just go into Blood Aqueduct, so you can kind of see the Blasphemy range pretty much hits the whole screen, and how the build would naturally play out. So mobs are already cursed. Imagine if you had temp chains on instead of the double curse auras, you know, they would be moving incredibly slow and wouldn't even get nowhere near you. To how a map would usually play out, just put phasing on, fortify the mob, 35-second fortify, and just start shield charging through with your carry usually behind you. and just clearing up the whole map behind you pretty much. Everything just gets instantly cursed and it would just pretty much melts down incredibly quickly. That is pretty much the build. This is my first time doing something like this. I did get incredibly bullied and pressured by a certain somebody to start making these builds with my interesting creations, I suppose you could say. Yeah, I hope you try it out or just play support in general. It is a quite of an underloved role in this game that is extremely fucking powerful. Other than that, I should have 2 more support guides coming out when I'm not lazy. I have a curse on hit Quill Rain and a curse on hit Freezing Pulse, which is a little bit more meme star than the generic Freezing Pulse. Oh no, I got 3 support builds, sorry. I got a Mana Guardian as well, which is definitely extremely powerful for these low life meta builds that are in the game right now. But yeah, so hopefully they should be coming out within the next 2, maybe 3 weeks. Maybe I'll put 1 out a week. But other than that, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Safe. Visage. Oh my god. Visage. Lisp, by the way. Lisp, by the way. Ha ha. Ha ha. S's. S's Visage. Ash's Visage.